This content is brought to you by BEC Financial Technologies, developing and operating IT for Danish banks.
Warmly welcome, Michał.
Thank you very much for the introduction. Hopefully you can hear me very well. So, is tester with ADHD villain or superhero? To answer that question, I need to tell you a story. But before I will tell you the story, I want to tell you why this story is important. Why it is important to speak about neurodiversity, about ADHD. First of all, there is quite a lot of us. On the chart, you can see that, sorry, I need to find this one. On the chart, you can see this big pink part on the left. This is neurotypical people, and the rest is different types of neurodiversity. This small blue thing on the right is ADHD. So it is estimated that ADHD is about 10% of the population. Is it a lot? That's the question to you. But imagine, we have our teams around 5 to 10 people, right? So you either have 50% chance to have someone with ADHD in your team or almost 100% to have someone with ADHD in your team. And what is also important? It is important because most of us doesn't want to share it with the world, even if we know that we have different types of neurodiversity. And almost half of us experienced some kind of violence in a workplace because of this condition. And this is the saddest part. Every second manager has some doubts to hire someone with ADHD, with different types of neurodiversity. So sometimes we are just afraid to admit that we have it. But this is not the last part, because it is also important that if we say it loud, that we have it, and the company is open, we increase our productivity, and company can increase the revenue. So it is very important to speak about that, because it can be beneficial both for us and for others around us. So we can start today's story. In July 2019, imagine the world where Brexit jokes are still funny, COVID didn't happen yet, and war on Ukraine has not started. And what I was doing back then, because this story will be about me, as you can see on the image. So this story is about me and what I was doing back then. I just changed the job. I got new work. I was hired as a QA team leader, so I was promoted very fast. It was less than 2 years of my career. I was already team leader. I got mortgage, I got married, I had my first child, I moved into a new apartment. So everything seems that is going very well. But what was on the inside? What did I know about myself in that time? I was very unsure about my skills. I was feeling like I don't know anything, and they just didn't catch me. And I was very insecure. I was very frustrated. I didn't sleep well. It was affecting my personal relationships, my business relationships. I was already starting to look for a new job because I didn't feel well in my company. I just got a new job. I remind you, I got promoted and I was already seeking for something new and I didn't know why. And I always knew that I have ADHD. But before I will tell you what ADHD was for me, I want to ask you what ADHD is for you. Because we often say like, oh, he's behaving like he has ADHD. So we have some basic knowledge about it. So what is this for you? Can you tell me? What do you think when someone says ADHD, what do you think? Okay, hard to concentrate, yes. Something else? Easy to distract? Yes, it is hard to sit in one place. Exactly. A lot of power, yes. Yes, so this is what people usually say about ADHD. Hyperactivity, mood swings, impulsivity, and lack of focus. Those are the most common things that everyone knows about ADHD. What it was for me? For me, it was the reason why I speak too much, when I speak too loud, why my hands are shaking and legs is shaking under the table on family gatherings. And it was some made up disease for me back then by some American scientists who retracted from it. It was something for kids. I didn't feel that it affects my life at all. Oh boy, was I wrong about that. So what science says about ADHD? So it is attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. I had to look at my screen for that because there's no way I will ever learn this name. So it has three main parts. You can be either hyperactive when you are hyperactive on the outside, or you can be inattentive when you are hyperactive more on the inside. It is not that you are not hyperactive, but it is not that easy to see your hyperactivity. And you often get lost in your thoughts. You are not here in the moment that you are physically. Or you can be mixed. You can have both of them equally spread. It can co-occur with autism, dyslexia, other types of neurodiversity. And it is often associated with the way that we process noradrenaline and dopamine. What is dopamine? Do you know? Hormone of happiness, a reward for our brain. You did something very well. Yeah, you cleaned your room, great. Yeah, you passed, you finished college, great. And with ADHD, it is, yeah, I cleaned my room. Yeah, I finished college. I have a great job, great kids. Yeah, you don't get this automatic brain reward for doing things that regular person does. And it is often misdiagnosed, so it is often good to have proper diagnosis for ADHD because it can be misdiagnosed with a lot of things. And it is more often diagnosed in men than in women because men are more likely to have this hyperactive type, and it is easier to diagnose that one. It is not that men has more ADHD than women, but it is easier to diagnose in them. And it is hereditary, at least we think, because we are not sure about most of those things because it is still being researched. So this presentation might be completely wrong in like 2 years. But we are about 80% sure it is hereditary. So if you have it, or someone in your family have it, probably your parents, your grandparents, someone also, there is a high chance that someone else will also have it. And what ADHD is not. It is not something that everyone has. It is not something trendy, or it shouldn't be. It is good from one point, that it is getting somehow trendy, because more people learn about it. But on the other hand, if I say to someone, yeah, I have ADHD, the reactions are, yeah, now everyone has it. Or everyone has a trace of ADHD, so you are not special. And it is not true. Of course, everyone can be hyperactive from time to time. Everyone can be inattentive from time to time. But in ADHD, it is on completely different levels of those traits. And it shouldn't be a way to stigmatize children. It shouldn't be excuse for misbehavior. It shouldn't be excuse for laziness. Because often those are things that people say about ADHD, that the kids are misbehaving because they have ADHD. It is not true. They are misbehaving because someone tries to feed them in a form that is not good for them. The society, their family, their teachers, their colleagues, their friends does not have tools to cope with it. And they are trying to forcefully push them into the form that doesn't fit them. So obviously someone will get hurt in the process. And it is very important because kids with ADHD often hear 20,000 more negative comments about them to the age of 12 than regular kid. So also, it is not something that the American scientists retracted from. It was, first of all, not American scientist. It was German scientist. He was not the father of ADHD. He was just one of the researchers. And he didn't retract it from it. He just disagreed with a way that ADHD was treated when he was alive. But of course, he gave an interview just before he died. This interview was misinterpreted. And now there is a rumor that ADHD does not exist. It exists, and it affects people. You can see on the image, iceberg. Because what I said about the ADHD is just the top of it. There is way, way more. There's way more things that we struggle every day with. There are more things that affect our lives. And now I want to talk about them. We will start with the difficult part of ADHD. So what are lesser known risks associated with ADHD? And keep this distinction in mind. Those are associated with ADHD. Those are not part of ADHD. So we can get rid of those. You can work on them. You cannot get rid of ADHD. You cannot grow out from it. You will always have it. But on those things, you can work. You can get rid of them. So what are those? Imposter syndrome, something that I had in past, and I still have to some degree. You feel like you are not enough. You feel like you don't know anything. You feel like a fraud. No one noticed yet that you don't know anything about your job. You are incompetent. That's the process in your brain. In reality, you are great. You have great knowledge, great experience, but you always feel like you are not enough. Emotional dysphoria. This is something that I hate because it is the feeling that everyone hates you. It can be very little things. Someone didn't respond to your message. Someone looked at you in a wrong way, and you already feel this person hates me. And you have this all the time. It is very, very, very awful. Low self-esteem, depression, as I said, kids with ADHD hear a lot of negative comments about them, and it affects adult life for people with ADHD very, very much. Because this is very often one of the things that we struggle with. We have very bad habits, like dehydration, eating disorders, intrusive thoughts. So those are thoughts like, I'm looking through the window, and I think, how long it will take me to crash on the ground, and how big splat I will do when I will crash. And you have those thoughts a lot. And if you don't know that it is normal, you feel like someone very weird or some kind of psychopath because you have those thoughts. And those are just thoughts that are very normal when you have ADHD. You're just curious person. You want to know what will happen. You will not jump, but you have those thoughts. And functional paralysis. It is something that I need to give you example for because it is very hard to understand. You sit on your bed and you do nothing on the outside, but on the inside, there is big war in your head. You feel guilt. Why I cannot start my chores? Why I cannot start to do the things that I need to do? And you just cannot start them. It is like you can imagine putting your hand in a fire. You can do this movement, right? If any one of you will do this movement, your muscles can do that. But your brain will not allow you to put your hand in a fire. This is the same mechanism. Your brain just doesn't allow you to stand up, to start doing things. And if you don't know about it, it is very hard to work, to exist properly. Because you always feel like you are lazy, you feel very bad about yourself. And about the work life. We can miss a lot of meetings, not because we are not working, especially when we are working remotely, but we are focusing on some task. Because ADHD is not lack of focus. We just focus in a different way than regular person. A regular person is like a lamp. You focus on everything around you. You focus on things like here and here and here and here. With ADHD, you work like a laser. You focus only on the things on the middle. So we are often clumsy because if something is here, that was not intended. If something is here, I don't see it. I don't notice it because it is not important for me. For me, important things are in the middle of my viewpoint. So we can also have difficulty completing the tasks, especially if they are boring or very repetitive. And we can look for wrong sources of dopamine because we don't process it very well. So, especially kids, if your kids have ADHD, they will try to force you to shout at them. Because if you are shouting, something is happening. The dopamine kicks and they feel better. Even that they feel very bad because you shouted at them. But in the middle, on the inside, they feel way better because the dopamine started. And because of that, sometimes we are annoying to other people because we are seeking some drama. We are seeking the dopamine in a very, very unhealthy ways. And of course, burnouts, it was already spoken about today at the, I think, second presentation, so I will not talk more about it. But burnouts are very, very often with ADHD. So how we can cope with those things? What we can do with those problems? First of all, don't be afraid to seek professional help. If you are struggling with your life, not only ADHD, not only neurodiversities, if you struggle with your mental health, please seek for help. This is very important. This is the most important message of this presentation. I encourage you try to take care of it. It is way more important than your physical health. So seek for help. I will not speak about medicines for the ADHD because I'm not a doctor. I'm not an expert. I'm not psychologist. I'm just a guy who has ADHD and learned a lot about it. So I want to share my story with you. So I will not speak about medicines at all for ADHD today. But what we can do about all of those awful things that we have. First of all, we need to be aware of them. So it is good, because if you have them here, you already know about them. And we need to accept ourselves. We should never judge ourselves on the things that we did to survive, about the habits that we had to survive, because we didn't have any help in life. Some relaxation techniques can help, physical exercises, everything that will get you out of the bubble of ADHD or the spiral of ADHD. Because if you have ADHD and you struggle with something, you feel very bad. So you don't sleep very well. And then you are tired. So you perform worse. And you feel even worse. And you sleep even worse. And then you are more tired and more tired. And it is like this big spiral that you need to find ways that will get you out of it. Your very personal ways. What I did will not work for you. For me, the big change was heavy blanket. It helps me rest so well. If I have my heavy blanket, you cannot imagine how perfect feeling it is. You feel like you are hugged everywhere. It is awesome, but it works for me. Find some things that will help you rest. Take breaks during the work. This is very, very important and very, very hard for us. Because I love coding. And when I'm coding, I can spend like 8 hours without drinking, without eating, without breaks, without anything. But we have so many tools that can help us now. Some apps that will ping to take a break. We can have so many tools that we use every day, like calendars, everything that will help us to take healthy breaks. It is very important to rest from time to time. I struggled a lot when playing with my kids because it was very overwhelming for me. But we learned to cooperate with each other. Now I'm saying, okay, I need 5 minutes of break. And I'm laying down for 5 minutes, I'm listening to some music, and then I can be 100% engaged in playing with them again. But I couldn't do that earlier without those breaks. And take over sleeping habits. For me, listening to some podcasts is great when I'm falling asleep because it helps me to fall asleep way, way faster because then my brain has something to concentrate on and I can concentrate on sleeping instead of thinking about everything that I did during the day. And for work, alarms for meetings. Without that, there's no way I will remember about any meeting during the day. And very important part, set up alarm just when meeting starts. If I will have my alarm 30 seconds before the meeting, it will take me, I think I will forget about this meeting like 6 times in these 30 seconds. It just need to be like alarm, meeting, alarm, meeting. Task lists. I'm 100% sure that Agile was created by people with ADHD for people with ADHD. Because what do you have? You have clear list of tasks, which helps you to deliver them. You have deadlines, and you have everything estimated, and you can see things moving. It is great for us to deliver things. Of course, first thing on the task list is always create task list. Because if you do that, your brain is like, okay, I already started this list. So it is easier to follow then. Body doubling, very important thing to help with ADHD. You don't need to do anything. But if you are around me, when I need to do something, it will help me very well to deliver those tasks. If I need to clean my room, you don't need to help me. Just be there with me. It will help me very, very much to motivate myself to start doing that. And artificial rewards. I already told you about wrong sources of dopamine, but you can use it. You can find good sources of dopamine. For example, if you will tell me that if I clean my room in 30 minutes and I will get chocolate after it, if I do that under 30 minutes, there is no way any one of you will clean my room faster than me. Because then dopamine kicks in. There is some challenge. There is something exciting. Now boring task is exciting again. So I can do it. And there was a lot of theory. Now time for a little game. You know now more about ADHD than 90% of the society. So what do you think? Who has, or most likely had, ADHD in the past? From the famous people that we all know. Leonardo da Vinci, yes. Who? Einstein, yes. I'm not sure about this one, but probably. Okay, and do you recognize some of them? Who do you recognize? Yes, John Lennon, Britney Spears. Who? Tiger from the, yeah, Tiger. Emma Watson. Yeah. So, what connects those people? They are very creative. They need high charisma for their work, and they think outside of the box. But now is the sad part of the story. Who is missing on this picture? Me. Yes, but not only me, but a lot of people that ADHD destroyed, that they couldn't handle it. It destroyed their lives, their careers, and they were not famous. History forgotten about them. Because ADHD is not something new. It probably always existed. So there's a lot of people in history that we just forgotten because they were not famous. For me, the best description for ADHD is contradiction, because we have trouble focusing on the things. But if we focus way more than a regular person. We need to have clean room to function properly, but it is very hard for us to clean it. We need routines to function properly, but routines can kill us, and we need to switch them. So contradiction for me is the best thing that describes ADHD. So now, to the fun part. If we will cope with all the problems that you have with your ADHD, you can use the superpowers that it gives you. And what are those superpowers? First of all, hyperfocus. And this is a true superpower. This is one reason I will never give my brain, my ADHD brain, for a regular one. What is hyperfocus? I can just give you an example. I cannot explain it because I have no idea how it works. But imagine a situation. You need to prepare a presentation. You spend 2 weeks on it, and it is average. I can do the same thing in like half an hour or 2 hours, and it will be very high quality thing. When the hyperfocus kicks in, when this laser in my brain connects with the thing that I need to do. Okay, sometimes I will have troubles following or doing things as fast as you. But sometimes when it kicks in, I will do it way faster, and there is high chance I will do it way better. This is like true superpower. I cannot imagine. I cannot explain it better. Like, you just do things. You need to create, I don't know, poem, presentation, anything. And suddenly something clicks in your brain and you just deliver it. You don't think. This is like the true superpower. Sorry, I just cannot explain it better. So people with ADHD have high energy. We are very spontaneous. We are great at multitasking. And we are natural born leaders. We are great at taking risks. We are great at finishing things that are interesting for us. If we have some exciting project, we will deliver it. And we are above average in creativity. We can have very unique view of the world. We can see patterns that others cannot see. We can connect things in a way that will allow us to reach success. Just sometimes we have troubles explaining it, how we can see the path, but we can connect those dots. And emotional intelligence is very high in people with ADHD. This was very weird for me. This is second superpower that we have. And this second real superpower, it was like, I meet someone new and I don't like this person. And I have no idea why. Why I hate this person? And then I learned that people with ADHD are great in seeing that someone is not true. And we hate that. We hate if something is hiding. I prefer for you to be annoying than to be hiding that you are annoying, because it will annoy me way, way more. And T-shaped skills. You know that, right? You have average knowledge about a lot of topics and you are expert in one thing. With ADHD, we can have multiple of those things that we are experts in, because we learn very fast. We adapt to new situations very well. And we are great in logistics. So we can create beautiful plan to learn new topic if we are interested in it. We will not eat, we will not sleep, but we will learn new topic because it is interesting for us. So today I will learn databases. Now I will learn API testing. Now I will learn new tool. And we have high empathy. So we see a lot of things. For example, that someone is sad, that someone is happy. We see a lot of emotions in people. And last thing in this presentation almost, how you can deal with us. For the people that, of course, not everyone here has ADHD, right? What you can do for us, what we can do for you, and what we are doing differently. First of all, have a focus symbol. If I'm focusing on the task and you will interrupt me, it will take me ages to get to the same point and to deliver the same value that I would do if you will not interrupt me. So have some focus symbol. It can be physical if you are in the office, or status when you are on the remote job. Just have something that will tell others, I'm focusing now, please don't interrupt me. Because now I will finish it in half an hour. If you will interrupt me, it can take me 2 days. Have a regular meetings. If I have a day that I have meeting, hour break, there is no way I will do anything this day. I will not concentrate on the meetings, and I will not do anything outside of the meetings. And clear deadlines, I already told you. Jira, anything else, any tool that Agile uses is great for the ADHD. Clear deadlines, clear information, when I need to deliver it. If you will tell me, do a presentation, it will take me a year. If you will tell me, do presentation for next Tuesday, I will do it in half an hour. And things that we do differently. There is something like level of mental engagement, as I call it. So if I'm focusing 10% of my brain power on a task, there can be music, we can speak, we can laugh. Everything can be loud around me. If I focus 100% brain power on something, there is no more room for anything else. So even if you will breathe next to me, it will be annoying. So some quiet rooms, some part of the office when everything is quiet is great for us. So it will be very important for us to have those. And listening looks different. If I look you deeply in the eyes when we are speaking, there is no way I'm listening to you. Why? Because I'm thinking, am I weird? Should I look again? Should I look away? Was it too long, too short? And I have no idea what you just said. But, and this is very sad part, because society thinks that it is very rude. But if I will interrupt you and I will finish your sentence for you, that's the best sign that I listen to you. Because I'm not only listening to you, but I'm so involved in the conversation that I just need to already hear what you want to say. And you are saying it so slow for my ADHD brain. And you did a pause for a brief. So I need to finish it because I already want to hear it. And sometimes you can be blunt. Because if you will interrupt me, and I'm 100% of my brain power is focused on the task, you interrupt me, I will say something probably a little rude to you. And I will not say sorry for it, ever, because I have no idea I just did it. Because my brain was fully focused on the task. There was no part of my brain that I'm aware of to recognize that I said anything to you. So sorry for that in advance, if I will ever do that to you. And what you can do for me or other people with ADHD around you. First of all, be open. And you already did it. You are here. You listen to this presentation. As I said, you know more about ADHD than 90% of our society. So thank you very much for being here. Because it is very important to speak about it. To allow people to be open. Because it is, as I showed to you, look at those things that I said about the ADHD. Those superpowers. Those are things that describes who? A great QA. Someone who is detail-oriented. Has unorthodox ways of thinking. Can imagine a lot of scenarios. I can see how users, different users, because the emotional intelligence, I can see how different users will connect to the app. I can see a lot of details because I'm very focused on something that's in the middle of my brain. What is in the middle of my viewpoint? The application that I'm testing. I can see the smallest, tiniest details that are wrong on the page. I will be a great leader for you. I will be a lot of things for you. But you just need to be open. You just need to not try to put me in a form that doesn't fit me. And then there can be great results, both for me and for projects and for everything. And speak with me, because often we talk too much, often we talk too loud. We can be annoying. We need to speak about this, because we will never learn when we are doing this if we will not speak about that. I'm open to that. Someone in your company might not be, but maybe ask them, can we speak about your condition? And sometimes just trust me, because I can see the pattern for a success for us. I cannot explain it, but I see it. So sometimes just trust me. And okay, I learned all of that. So let's go back to our story. Let's go to this guy today. How my life changed in those 6 years? A lot. When I learned what is ADHD, how it affects every second of my life, every relationship, every part of my work, how I interact with my kids, with my colleagues in work, with I'm a QA leader. I have people that I'm trying to help them to grow. How it affects our interactions. A lot of changed for good. Of course, there are always ups and downs. That are days that I feel like shit, complete shit. But there are less and less happening. I'm way happy now. I'm way happier now. So I'm not saying that to brag. I just want to encourage you. Take care of your mental health. Take care of yourself. Learn how your brain works. What you can do to make your brain work as what it was intended to. Because ADHD is not something that is wrong with us. This is not a disease. It's just a condition. We have it. We need to learn the struggles of it, and we need to learn how to use it for good. And if we use it properly, we can be real superheroes on the projects. So, at the end, I have a challenge for you. I started playwright trainings a few days ago. Officially, I'm doing it for years now, but officially I started my playwright trainings. And if you will visit my page, there is a secret hidden in this page. It is not hidden very well, but it is hidden. If you will find the secret, you can give me a name of the wizard that hidden that message. And you will get some percentage of my trainings. If you will share a photo with me or my LinkedIn page, you will get them even more discount. And if we will solve the riddle that is hidden on the page, if you will be the first person who will solve it, you can get one of the trainings for free. So have fun with it. And some bibliography. And now questions. When I was speaking, I was seeing who is nodding, so I know who will ask questions now.
Thank you. Thank you for presentation. I have a question regarding this time management tools. And have you ever feel anxiety after hyper control when you're trying to create too many task lists and checklist and meetings for yourself to do the time for relax, to do the time to have break and all of that?
Yes, every day. As I said, there's the ADHD contradictions. I need those tools, but they can be overwhelming as well. So you need to try and see. You need to try this tool, see how your brain reacts to it. If it is overwhelming to you, it will be inefficient for you to use it because it will affect your life negatively, not positively. So we need to see what will work for you. For me, simple alarms. I wake up, I set up alarms for everything that I have during the day, and those alarms help me to concentrate. And often kids help me to take breaks because they just run into my room and I will take 10 minutes break because I will remember, oh, I have life outside of the work. So kids help a lot with taking some breaks.
Thank you. Thank you.
I have question about weighted, what's it called in English? Obciążeniowa kołdra.
Weighted blanket.
Weighted blankets. Do you sleep with your wife under the same blanket? Because mine was too heavy for her, and she was and she wasn't able to breathe.
No, I'm not using the blanket for sleeping because I have a lot of problem with my joints because of some medical conditions. So I cannot sleep under them because they are heavy and they affect your joints in very bad ways. Especially if you have some other problems already. I use it to calm myself. If I have very hard moment, I'm just like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and I feel like in heaven. Like it is like the best massage ever made. Because you need to know that sometimes with ADHD, you are overreacting to a lot of things. For example, I feel my whole body all the time. I feel my trousers, I feel my shirt, I feel everything all the time. So it is very annoying. Like I hate suits because they are so annoying. But if I'm on the heavy blanket, for me, it is like, okay, now I'm hugged everywhere. So it is the best feeling ever. You had a question as well?
Yeah, hi. Just wanted to say thank you for the great presentation. This conference, QA conference, became very quickly very personal for me because my partner is with ADHD and everything you wrote there, like, I felt it very much. Just one question maybe to one of the statements there that you like whatever the skills that your superpowers, whatever you have, that the focus, that's clear, the multitasking. I feel that these two things are a bit contradicting because you said you're focusing on one and you don't see anything else. And multitasking is to be able to focus on different things on the same task, on the same time.
Yes, that's how to describe it. Depends on the situation. Yes, that depends on the situation. Like it's like sometimes about multitasking. Maybe I didn't explain it very well during the presentation, but sometimes your brain just seeks for so many things at the same time. So I need to code. I need to respond to emails. I need to think about something. And I'm listening to music in the same time or some podcasts. So your brain sometimes just feels that you need to do a lot of things in the same moment to really focus on them. It's like, of course, there are moments that no way, I will not, because I'm focused. If I'm focused, no way I will do anything else. That's very annoying to my wife as well, because if I'm doing something, she's speaking with me and I can answer the questions. I can speak with her. I can have like 10-minute conversation with her and not be aware of that conversation at all. Not remember this conversation a lot. So it depends of if you are focusing or not. If you are focusing, no way. You are focusing on something, no way you will do anything else. But sometimes your brain just seeks for multiple things at the same time. And you can handle a lot of things in the same time. So for example, you need to respond to emails. You need to test application. You have release going on. You have this, and that. And then suddenly you do, you can handle them. Like I forgot to mention one thing that is also a superpower in ADHD. We work great under stress because if something is happening, like some emergency happens, like release 4 p.m. and suddenly critical error, everyone is panicking. And ADHD brain is like, finally something is happening. Finally, I can use 100% of my power. When something happens to my kids, my wife is panicking. And I have already a list of 10 things that I need to do to solve that issue. If you have any emergency, pray to God to have someone with ADHD around you, because there is high chance they will solve the problem very, very well. So we work very well under stress. But so when there is some stressful situation happening, I can handle the chaos very well. I can do multiple things at the same time to handle the chaos. But if I'm focusing on something, forget about it. I will not do multiple things at the same time. Sorry, I probably didn't explain it very well during the presentation. So thank you for the question. Okay, any other questions?
Hi.
I'm here. Okay.
Awesome presentation. especially from your personal perspective experience. How has your environment, like especially the company, the team, responded to when I assume that you are working in a different company than back in 2019, and
Yes.
how do you handle that in a new environment? Like, what do you say at an interview? By the way, I've got ADHD, and
No.
so I have superpowers.
No, because after I learned how my brain works, I didn't have interview yet because I'm still working in the same company. That is one of the things that happened after I learned a lot about my brain. Because before that, I was switching jobs like every year and a half. I got bored. I didn't know what to do, so I changed the job. Now I know how my brain works. I know those feelings that are happening. I can understand them, and okay, it is not that I need to switch job. I just need to do something new in my life. I need to find a new hobby. I don't need to change my job because of that. So I don't think I had any interview since I learned about the ADHD, so I cannot answer to that part of the question. About how my company reacted, I have way better relationship with my manager because I said sorry to her. Because when I learned how my brain works, how I reacted to situations that we had in the past, I was like, what? I need to say sorry to her. Because I know that I hurted her a lot in the past with what I said impulsively about my reactions to things that were done. So I just said sorry to her. So my relationships now are way better. Like I had my yearly review, I think last year or 2 years ago. And she said to me, Michał, I see change in your life. I see that you changed. Now you are not employee, you are partner to me. So learning all of those things helped me a lot in my job. How my company reacted? I had this presentation. I tested that on them. And I'm working remotely. So nothing happened like from the point of view of my company. I'm also not working exactly for my company because I don't remember now the word in English. We are delivering people to other clients. So I'm not working in my own company. I'm working for someone else now, right, on the project. So I'm not sure how aware they are. Some of them are. But in my own company, I had this presentation and the reactions were very positive. A lot of people were like, oh, I have this. Or, okay, I need to check my brain. I need to go to the doctor and evaluate my life. So not much changed in like everyday basis in my company, but my relationships get better. But mostly because I changed those relationships because I know more about my brain. So I was able to change the relationships for better.
Okay, and right now me? Yeah, sorry, just one more question. But just a context. QA work, tester work is full of overstimulation. And it is true because you don't focus only on the application because you focus all around that is on that application, right? So how do you deal in a moment when you know that the tests are over, when the new project didn't start yet, you do some static tests, but there is that point when nothing major happens. How do you deal with that situation at work?
I look for something new. Like I'm starting new projects then. Like, for example, okay, I see, okay, I have small, you need to be precise. You have free time in that moment or you have boring tasks in that moment. Boring tasks. That's why I do automation. So I don't have boring tasks. I automate them. So that's why I started automating things. Yes. So then I'm very, very sad person. If I need to do some very repetitive work, the good thing that we have AI now. So we can force AI to do very boring stuffs for us, like making documents, documentation, a lot of things you can now move to AI. But I was very, very sad person when I had to do those tasks. I was working as a manual QA for half a year, and it was enough. Then I decided, I need to learn how to automate things because I will not survive like that. So repetitive tasks can be very, very hard, but there are ways to make them fun. For example, when I was testing manually, I was always trying to find a way to name persons that I create or customers and employees in my company, that they will be funny. There was a lot of jokes in the comments that I was adding in the things. So even if the task is boring, at some point of time, your ADHD brain will find a way to make it sometimes more interesting. And then you can handle them. You just need to find a way that will work for you, because it will not work for everyone. But there was a lot of very funny comments. And the worst part is when suddenly someone says, okay, let's use this environment for demo. And you are like, oh! And you spend next 5 minutes like compulsively removing every every stupid thing that you added into the database. Any other questions? Here is another one. And
so my question is, maybe this is not really a question to you, but maybe you can tell something. So I understand that sometimes people just have lack of concentration skills. So concentration is like a skill. And how can we distinguish if it's ADHD or just some lack of concentration skills which were not taught by our parents or at school or somewhere else?
That's something that needs to be evaluated by a doctor. I don't think, you can start with some online tools. There are some tests you can do online to see what are the chances that you have ADHD. So you can start with that. But if you really want to know, you need to evaluate yourself with a doctor, because this is the only way that we now know to say if you have it or not. And this evaluation looks like I'm preparing for it now, because I was on a therapy for a half a year. So I have only confirmation from my psychotherapist that I have ADHD. I don't have yet I cannot take medicines for ADHD because I don't have this evaluation yet. But I'm processing it now. So it looks like you have a test. You have a conversation, 3-4 hours of conversation with a doctor. And then they speak with your family, with your parents, with your partner, with everyone around you that is important for you, because it is not what you think, but what other thinks about you. This is part of the evaluation for ADHD, is also what your society thinks about you. It is a very important part of it. So I cannot just answer this question. Otherwise, you need to take a doctor opinion on it, or some online test to see what are the chances that you have it.
Thank you so much. And now it's time for your award.
Thank you.
Big applause.